let me just point out that I know people might think that I'm a little late talking about this whole Superman thing, but that's not exactly the case. When I got the information regarding the buzz about Superman, I originally was going to do a video on it. But then I saw something else came out, and I figured that what I saw was most likely fake news. So I decided, you know what, let me wait until confirmation of that is given that it's actually nonsensical before I do this. And now that I have that, that's what I'm gonna be incorporating into this video. But before I get to that part, let's get to the buzz around the Superman film. And apparently it ain't good. Now, I did a review of the trailer. Like I said, I was not really, enjoying it all that much. The whole thing in regards to I mean, the colors are bright, the action doesn't look bad, but it just came off with Superman looking miserable and depressed, in my opinion, and that Guy Gardner, outfit was just pretty much horrible. But I'm still, hopeful that this could turn out to be something other than super depressed man. But apparently the buzz around it is not all that good. So let's dive into that information here. First of all, this article from Cosmic Book News. Superman Fallout buzz is not good. Should be worried. Following the release of the Superman trailer and a test screening, or before I go, let me just say that that test screening actually is an internal test screening. Right? It hasn't been any public test screening or anything like that whatsoever. There's a few people, mostly the major executives at WB, have seen it. That's it. Nothing, no public test screening or anything like that. I'll get to why that's important a little later on. It's claimed that Warner Brothers is nervous about the movie. Worth a mention is that prior to the release of the trailer, it was said Warner Brothers wasn't happy. Now, yes, Warner Brothers did say before that they weren't happy in regards to it, so then the trailer came out and now we hear something else about it and all like that. But keep in mind, the same people who were going out there saying that, The Flash is the greatest superhero movie ever. How did that work out? The latest comes from Jeff Snyder on the most recent episode of the Hot Mic podcast. While discussing the news about the Batman Part 2 getting delayed and all of this other stuff that was going on, this is what Snyder had to say. I went to dinner with a source who knew multiple people who had seen Superman. The buzz is not good. It's not me trying to take the movie down. Maybe I misphrased the VFX thing. I'm hearing bad things. I'm hearing you should be worried things. Now, a lot of time between now and July 11th, a lot of things could happen. Songs like James Gunn is aware of some of the feedback. Now, in regards to that, when you say that, the buzz is not good or something like that, it kind of makes you have to wonder what exactly is the buzz that's not good. Is it that, they are just, I say the VFX thing, is it that certain things need fixing up? Is it that certain elements need smoothing out? Is it that, there's too much of one thing in the movie, need to trim it down a little bit or something like that? It is open to interpretation. It's not like this to say, well, okay, they say not good, oh God, let's all panic and start freaking out. No, we don't know specifically, but that's the opening salvo that we get there. You understand me? Snyder then references a recent report from the Hollywood Reporter published in their email newsletter. Sounds like the Hollywood Reporter is aware of some of the feedback, or they're just keeping that amazing buzz that the studio would love to have out there in the Fortress of Solitude. Read between the lines, people. This is what the Hollywood Reporter said. We've heard from multiple sources about one screening in particular on the lot, and with his close-knit crew of people he trusts, we're keeping the buzz about the movie itself in our own Fortress of Solitude, but we can tell you that the movie will be doing a few days of additional shooting in Los Angeles in the near term. So they're going to be doing some additional shooting. So like I said, it's possible that, they probably saw it and said, like, you needed to fix up a little something here and you need to add something there. things like that. It is possible. It is possible, but the fact that they're trying to keep it quiet and stuff, a little troubling there. What Snyder is stating is that obviously the Hollywood Reporter wouldn't keep things locked up in their fortress of solitude if what they knew about Superman is good news, hence it's bad news. Now that is possible. It is possible because if it was factually amazing or like that, they would be the first ones to be saying, ABC or that, and the other trying to put it out there. So it's entirely possible, and there is some elements in it that are very worrying. Yeah, mushroom top. Okay. The World of Real also reported that Snyder previously said he heard from a rock solid source that Superman, or at least the cut recently shown on the Warner lot, is kind of a mess. That's the truth from someone in the know, and right now Warner is starting to get nervous about the film. If it's kind of a mess, that's something. This is what he continued on to say. Sorry, that's what the buzz is. The buzz is what it is. I can't change it. John Rocha then chimed in and says that an insider says what an insider filled him in about Superman. Someone who's seen Superman told me it has the tone of the first Captain America movie and the Mummy film. Snyder laughed and yelled, "Oh, that's bad." They said Nicholas Hoult is the standout and the film was decent, but a large chunk of the film was unfinished with only a third of the film's VFX being done. Least amount of humor of any Gunn film, but there's still humor throughout the film. They think most people will be satisfied with the movie and it should be received well enough to continue Gunn's DCU. Now, there are a few things here to really stand out in regards to it. I said here that the Superman to me the tone of the first Captain America movie and the Mummy film. Now, the Captain America movie, the first Captain America movie, I was not a 100% fan of it, but it did do what it was meant to do to establish Captain America as a hero, but that was still an origin story and stuff that happened. So it could be that, that the movie does have that sort of tone to it of establishing the world that Superman is in, and that's what's going on. But when they talk about the Mummy film now, the first one, that is where you kind of get a little bit more worried. Because one of the things that the Mummy film had in it was humor, right? If you think about it, it had the action all that, but it had humor. But the humor in certain aspects kind of worked for what was being done in that movie. The fact is that you're putting in when you think humor on a scale like that in a Superman movie, that's troubling. We know it's James Gunn. There's going to be humor. He can't help himself. There's going to be humor. That's what he does. But my thing about it is now, when it comes to Superman, you can have humorous elements in there, but they need to work properly with the tone of what's being done. You cannot have laugh out loud, slap your knee, fall over in your chair, cackling hard, Deadpool type humor in a Superman movie. You can't have that. Does go on to say, the least amount of humor of any Gunn film, but there's still humor throughout the film. And that is sort of my aspect when we talk about the Mummy there. Because throughout the Mummy film, there was humor in it. You understand me? If you're putting too much humor into a Superman movie, that is a problem. James Gunn trying to do what it doesn't make. I mean, when you look at what he's done, the first thing he put out for the series, we know Superman started, but Creature Commandos that have some humorous elements in there that don't land when it comes to certain things. Honestly, the funniest part that is when the people getting off, and that's kind of just what it is. But other than that, the humorous elements in it don't really work. So it is that. They also talk about how the third of the film VFX. What I said that, most likely have some VFX elements that need to be fixed. So it is troubling when you talk about it kind of has the tone of Captain America and the Mummy film. I mean, Captain America, like I said, the first movie, not 100% fan of it, but it did do what it was supposed to do to establish the backstory of Steve Rogers. If it's doing that to establish the world that Superman is in, that could probably work. But the movie is already bloated with way too many characters. And then there's the fact that, they say that it has the tone of the Mummy, which I'm guessing is a bunch of humor shoved in there. That is going to be problematic. They say that, it's the least amount of humor of any Gunn film, but there's still humor throughout the film. James Gunn can't help himself putting humorous things into these movies. So, I mean, like I say, Superman can have some humorous elements in there, but it must not be overblown. And the fact is that's kind of worrying to me, and I'm guessing a lot of people that, it have way too much of that in there. So yeah, the buzz might very well not be good because too much of the humor might really be ruining the film. The VFX aspects may not work properly, and that's why they may have to go back and do some reshoots of all kinds of that. But they also said that they don't think most people will be satisfied with the movie, and it should be received well enough to continue Gunn's DCU. I think if you're going in there to make a Superman movie, you have to make it true to Superman, and that's what's going to bring people in. I think that would be the thing. Also, during the podcast, Snyder said he was contacted by someone connected to the editing world who texted him, "Your Superman reports are spot on. There's plenty of reason to be nervous." Yeah. So, plenty of reason to be nervous. These things are out there, it's possible. Now, as I stated off in the beginning of this, as the reason why I was taking some time before I did this, a certain bit of information came out saying that there was some sort of screening and that the movie is actually really good. But I was skeptical. I said, if there had been some public screening, more news would have come out. I figured it was total nonsense. So I waited, and we have some confirmation on that this did not actually happen. All right. This article here: Superman test screenings not reliable, open to BS. So they talk about how some recent claims surrounding Superman test screenings which are said to be unreliable. Right. A fan user on Comic Book Movie wrote up a fan article claiming a test screening was held for James Gunn's Superman movie, with the reaction said to be Guardians of the Galaxy level good. Now, when someone had sent this info to me, I was skeptical. I was like, yeah, but I should have heard something more about this. I did see some bits of information popping up online stating that this, the whole Guardians and Galaxy level good. If people should be realized at the face of I figured this was fake news, but I decided, let me wait and see. And apparently it really is. The site does use fan editors, but the possible bogus rumor seems to have somehow gotten past them. Anyone can post articles on the site. So, for example, whenever there's a NFL game or such, someone posts pirate links to a pirate site, okay? Well, it seems the article at Comic Book Movie may have been made up in response to those recent claims from Jeff Snyder that the buzz surrounding Superman is not good and that fans should be worried. Yeah, this is why I figured it was something like that. We get word from viewer Anon on X, who has had scoops come true that Comic Book Movies claims are likely BS. Viewer Anon says that the real test screening hasn't even been held. It's just been screenings done internally at WB. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. The test screenings have just been with the internal people at WB. Gone a few of his trusted people and the execs at WB. That's about it. That is about it. There have been no public test screenings, and I don't know if they're going to do any beforehand or later, but there haven't been any as yet. Any and all Superman test screenings so far, I don't know how many have taken place, have been internal. Even by test screening standards, take any leaks from internal screenings, positive or negative, with a huge grain of salt. So yeah, it is possible, but again, as I say that, they say that, the buzz is that the Superman movie isn't good, you should be worried. Yes, it is possible, because there have been more than one source that have said that in regards to it. But I mean, I do think that we should be a little worried about it. Yeah, I do hope the movie does turn to be good, but this whole thing saying that they've been test screenings publicly and the movie is Guardians of the Galaxy level good, nah. Viewer Anon added that if a real Superman test screening was held, it would be easily known, as fans that went would obviously talk about it. Yeah, everyone knows test screenings reactions are not automatically indicative of quality or wide reaction. True, but it does give you an idea of what's going to happen. But a public test screening can at least be verified. Internally, you're dependent on someone at the studio or close to the filmmakers to break their confidence. Viewer Anon brought up the point that if it was said prior to the release of Batman vs Superman was the best movie ever, now we know how it turned out. Yeah, that wasn't a good movie, but then we also talk about what happened with Flash, which wasn't good either. So yeah, so this was my thing. Yeah, this is why I really waited. I just want to get confirmation on this. That the fake news out there saying that the Superman movie had some public test screening and it's been so good and the best movie and it's Galaxy level good. No, has not been verified at all. What we do know is that it ain't looking all that good. That's the internal information that we have. The buzz about it, they say that it has the tone of Captain America and the Mummy, and the VFX still needs to be done. It does have the least amount of humor of any Gunn film, but there's still humor throughout the film, which I think is kind of problematic if it's pushed way too much. So basically, the buzz around the Superman movie at this point is not very good. Someone did try to spread some fake news saying it's Guardians of the Galaxy level great, and that's not true. Right now, the only thing we can do is wait and see how this movie turns out. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like it, really hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.